Hello there, men, and welcome to the Masculinism Movement channel, a place for men to be men and to talk about masculinity and men's issues. I'm your host, Brian Krall, and today I'm going to be talking to you about MGTOW, what it is, and why do it. MGTOW stands for men going their own way. It basically means men who are sovereign beings living independently without having committed relationships with women or anyone to answer to and tell them what to do, basically. It is something that is highly controversial. Apparently, society at large doesn't want men to do this, and yet I am here to recommend it to you. So why go MGTOW? Well, because the system is rigged against men, and it is the only safe way to go for a man, at least for now, while the legal and political system is gynocentric and against men. Okay, so when you go MGTOW, you get to be free from the control of someone else, a female financial leech, which is exactly what women are to men, being used as an emotional tampon or punching bag by women, which is exactly what men are to women, being emotionally manipulated and abused, which is what women do to men. Yes, all women. A biased legal system and family court, which is gynocentric and against men. Okay, men and women are not equals in the eyes of the law. Women are always right and men are always wrong. If you ever want to be proven the hard way that you and a woman are not equals, just get into a dispute with a woman and wait for the police to be called by one of you. Hell, you could even call the police on a female who started a fight with you and is getting physically violent with you, and the police will still take her side. And if you end up in family court with a woman, they're also going to take her side. If you have a child with her, if you've been married or cohabitating even, they are going to award her alimony. All right, even just cohabitating is considered common law marriage, which means in the eyes of the law and the family courts, you owe her money. So essentially what going your own way is allowing us men to be free from is a succubus who will trap us with a child into becoming a leech for her livelihood. Now, there are 5 basic tenets of MGTOW. The first is don't marry. Marriage is the slavery of men to women. It is like indentured servitude. You have literally signed over your life and all of your assets to the woman who is now your master. You earn money for her plantation, helping her to create the domestic life of her dreams by spending most of your time working and giving her your money. A man has no rights to his own property when he is married to a woman. He loses his sovereignty. There's no reason to need to do this, even if you are a traditional type of man who wants children, and believes in love and, family values and all of that. And unfortunately, getting a prenup is not enough anymore because they are getting thrown out by judges, as you may have seen in cases with high status celebrities like Dr. Dre and his wife. All right, prenups and any contracts between a man and a woman can always be thrown out by the judge in court. Okay, so you just can't marry at all anymore. The second is don't impregnate. You have no reproductive rights as a man and will have no real rights over your child as a father, as I have found out the hard way. I am a father who got his child taken away from him after a long time of, legal battles, and his mother using him in psychological warfare and campaigning to turn him against me, as well as the courts, and eventually it worked. And it will end up costing you a fortune in child support payments and a lot of emotional pain and suffering as your child gets taken away from you. No matter how stoic and macho and unemotional or emotionally strong you think you are as a man, the emotional torture of getting your child taken away from you is something that will break any man who is not a sociopath. I myself am not afraid to admit that I have cried like a fucking baby over the loss of my son, so many times. It basically has broken me emotionally. He's someone who I loved more than anything in the world. He's someone who I consider to be a part of myself because he came from me. Losing a child is the worst experience you will ever go through. I would have rather had anything else happen to me than losing my son. If you think you know what depression is, just wait until you've lost a child. All right, it puts you into a darker place than you would have ever imagined possible. All right, it's like getting sucked into an emotional black hole and makes you suicidal. Again, if you're not a sociopath, it's something that makes men suicidal, and a lot of male suicides happen after a divorce and the male getting his child taken away from him. All right, but moving on. Number 3, Don't co-sign. Contracts with women are as worthless as the paper they are printed on and can get torn up by a judge anytime you take her to court to try to get them enforced if she is reneging on your deal. And this is exactly what happened with me and my last girlfriend, who I had a business relationship with. As I said, the legal system is gynocentric. It favors women, and any contract you have with a woman is arbitrary. If she doesn't want to uphold her end and you take her to court to force her to, they can just throw it out and free her from the deal. However, if she takes you to court to enforce your end, the judge will most likely side with her and make you. Okay? A woman can renege on any deal she makes with a man in this legal system. So whether you have a business contract or a marriage contract or a prenup or whatever type of contract with a woman, it will almost always be a one-sided deal that only benefits her and actually gives you no real legal security. Okay? Next is don't cohabitate. Cohabitating with a woman means giving up your space and your freedom, both in the domestic lifestyle sense and in the legal sense, since common law marriage is a real thing that is legally enforced in many or most places. And once you've signed a lease with a woman, she can have you ejected from your own home at any time and still make you pay rent. And you'll be lucky if she doesn't sue you for alimony. And the fifth and last one is don't commit. Women will never fully commit to a man. They have a very deep bench of orbiters, and men that they have on the back burner just waiting for them, after they are done with you. Okay. So you as a man should not commit to them. These commitments are one-sided and symbiotic, which basically means that when you have a commitment with a woman, it is like she is a parasite and you are the host. She is only there to feed off of you. And when your resources and usefulness are all used up to her, she will just leave you and abandon her commitment and any obligations she has made to you. So those are the 5 tenets of MGTOW.
Are you sure to take your daily dose of red pills consistently so that you can stay out of the matrix? The red pill is a medicine that only works if you take it in the right dosage and never miss a dose. One missed dose of red pills can mean turning back into a blue-pilled limp dick simp under the sharp heel of the evil feminist matriarchy. So make sure you are subscribed and that your subscription is set to all so that you never have to miss one of your daily doses of the red pill, because I'm releasing hot new red pill content every single fucking day just to make sure you don't have to. So make sure you will actually get notified when they are released, because you know that YouTube doesn't want to show you things that don't align with its liberal leftist feminazi agenda, and it shadow bans content creators like me who use free speech to speak out against these politics and stand up for the rights of the oppressed masses of men like you and me. And if you want to help me keep fighting the good fight, please donate using the PayPal link below so that I can keep this work alive, because I simply cannot do it without the support of viewers like you. And be sure to spread these messages and share these videos with any other men you know who could use a nice big dose of red pills.
Now let's talk about another important MGTOW concept, which is the concept of the pills, the blue and the red pill. This originally comes from the story of Alice in Wonderland and then was adapted by the Matrix film, a very important film in our modern mythos, which is especially important for the MGTOW community. So like in the Matrix film, taking the blue pill means subjecting yourself to the illusion of the Matrix, allowing yourself to be brainwashed into believing that this reality that was created for you is real. In the MGTOW sense, it means believing the social conditioning and cultural programming that we get as men about love and romance and relationships and marriage and everything having to do with women, and being willing to marry and enslave yourself to them. Now, the red pill, like in the film The Matrix, means liberating yourself from the illusion that you have been brainwashed with. So in the MGTOW sense, this means understanding the truth about society and the lies that you've been fed in your social conditioning and cultural programming, and that none of it is real. Now, this is usually accompanied by some sort of depression or rage, but don't worry, because you will get over it, and afterwards you'll be much better for it. Now, in recent years, there's also been the emergence of the concept of a purple pill, which is between the red and blue. This happens after taking your first red pill, where you then go back and retake the blue pill. You try to go back to somewhere in between the two and find a happy medium where you'll try to prevent full slavery to women and maintain some independence from them, but you will still have some relationships with them to some degree, which almost never works out and basically always results in men going full red pill eventually afterwards. And then there's also been the emergence of the concept of a black pill. This is a pill that brings you furthest down the rabbit hole. This is the deepest, darkest truths about reality that are basically nihilistic. It is even darker and more depressing than the red pill. It shows you that not only is our gynocentric society and social programming a lie, but that everything about society is a lie. That we are living in a simulation. And reality is actually just a big black void of nothingness. That life has no meaning except for the meaning we assign it, and that life often sucks, and there's really little point to living it. At least not in the society that has been constructed for us, which is just a false reality meant to harvest our energy like the Matrix. So of those 4 pills, take the red pill. Reveal the true nature of reality, that the reality, culture, and lifestyle that you have had are not actually real. That there is much more to the world and the universe than you have been brought to understand. And you will now understand the deeper nature of things and different ways of being that other people do not. Because other people are living life unconsciously, as if they are just non-player characters in a simulation. But once you take the red pill, you are able to deviate from the normal social conditions and are able to go down different paths that normal people cannot. You'll be able to go, as Morpheus says, further down the rabbit hole. And you'll find that most of the aspects of culture that you have been programmed to find meaning in are actually just a sham. And thus, you'll be able to rise above your social programming and function on a much higher level. The further down the rabbit hole you go, the more you can experience. And eventually, you may encounter another pill that can offer you an even deeper state of consciousness with an even deeper understanding of reality. You see, that is the black pill. The black pill reveals the dark underbelly of the universe that you were unaware of. For just as how there is light above, there is darkness below. And if you take the black pill, you will be able to see everything, even the darkest darkness. You will no longer be able to ignore the darkness of the universe and nature and reality and truth. It's in everything. The black pill exposes all the lies you've been told. It shows you that everything good in the world you thought you knew is actually just a scam. That everything you once believed in is just arbitrary programming. That everything you thought you knew and thought was real was all actually just an illusion. That nothing even matters. All life is inherently meaningless. The universe is just a big black nothing. And so you should beware the black pill if you cannot handle that. And once you take it, there's no going back the way it was before. No going back to being a member of society. Being able to see everything, even the darkest darkness, and to see the true nature of reality and what it is, and that it is not real, is often too much for the human mind. It will make a man very depressed and negative. It poisons the attitude and thoughts and feelings and causes us to become cynical. So while I myself have taken the black pill, as you may have surmised from some of the things I say on this channel, it's not necessarily something I recommend, but I warn people of taking the black pill. All right. Now let's talk about the different levels of MGTOW. The first is not being a MGTOW at all, having taken a blue pill and buying into the gynocentric system and wanting to marry a woman and have that, fairy tale white picket fence domestic life with her. That is actually just a lie. The first actual level of MGTOW is awareness, being aware of the matrix of reality and the anti-male social conditioning and cultural programming, having taken the red pill and experiencing that red pill rage and depression that goes along with figuring out that everything you've been sold was just a sham, and maybe trying to find a middle ground with the purple pill. The second level is the rejection of relationships with women. This occurs gradually, first rejecting marriage, then rejecting long-term relationships and serious commitments, leaving only short-term dating. Then rejecting short-term dating and keeping only casual sex, being promiscuous and using women just to get laid. Then rejecting any kind of romantic connections, even for casual sex, and not going on dates at all, even just to get laid, but instead just paying sex workers to fulfill your sexual needs. And then the third level is monk mode. This is full celibacy and solitude. These kinds of men use porn only to fulfill their sexual needs. They do not have any female contact, all right? Or they may even practice what is called nofap and be completely celibate and basically attempting to become asexual, denying any sexual needs. They not only do not have sex with women, but will not have social relationships with them either. They often live with a great deal of solitude and do not spend as much time in society as most others do. They are extremely focused on themselves and their own meaningful pursuits, and they are able to achieve great levels of peace, mastery, and self-actualization due to this monk mode lifestyle, which is very much like the monastic life of traditional spiritual monks, which is of course why it's called monk mode. Now, this mindset may be combined with the taking of the black pill, as it is for me. I am a black pill man living in monk mode. However, there is one last level, even higher than that, and that is number 4, ghosting, or ghost mode, or exile. It's called different things by different men who have done it, but it's rarely talked about because it is a rare thing, and the men who do it generally don't have much connection to society. All right, because this is an even greater level of monk mode and solitude. This is where a man drops out of society altogether and lives in self-imposed exile. He may live out in the country, or something away from, the centers of civilization and be mostly self-sufficient, maybe even living off-grid as a digital nomad, as I have actually done before when I was at my peak in life. These men are complete lone wolves and are able to achieve the highest level of consciousness through this solitary living. This state of being is usually the result of having taken the black pill. So that is all of the basics that you need to know about MGTOW, and in conclusion, all I can say is that I highly recommend that you men go your own way. All right, I hope you see all of the reasons for it and why it is the best thing for you, and why, relations with women are not in your best interest, and that the only thing that is in your best interest is going your own way. And that is the only way that you are going to be able to live a sovereign and secure life, where you will then be able to actually self-actualize in much greater ways than you would ever be able to do if you continue to live on the male slave plantation.
That concludes this video. Thanks for listening. I hope I mansplained that good enough for you. If you like what you heard, please click the like button, and if you feel you gained some value from this video and would like to give some back, please do so with the PayPal link below, because your support helps fund me doing this work and fight the good fight for men like you. If you are ready to take the red pill and wake up from the matrix and the matriarchy controlling it and learn everything you need to know about female on male sexism, get your copy of my newly released book called Misandry Exposed, on sale now for a special price that won't last long. So check it out by clicking the link below. And otherwise, take care of yourselves, men, because no woman out there is going to.